Ko Sadra tuku ingoa. My name is Sadra Saffari, and I've got something in my throat. I am one of the founders of Earthbeat Aotearoa and Earthbeat Festival. And 6 minutes is quite a short time, so what I wanted to try to do today is, rather than go into what the festival is about and what you can find at the festival and tell you more about it, I wanted to share with you something that's very pertinent for us, and that is something that's been mentioned in some prior conversations as well, and that is our evolving role as a festival and our evolving role and our valuating role. So recently I was, let me see if this is working. Oh, awesome. Recently I was talking to a friend of mine about understanding and better describing the system that we actually live in. And this is a clue, by the way. So we concluded that there's absolutely no better way to describe the system that we live in than a pyramid scheme. So that might not seem as a shock to most of you, but it's even more explicit when you look at it on a global scale. So here we have 73% of the global population with 2.4% of the global wealth. So the people on the bottom of this is people that we probably don't see day to day. So why are we so compelled to continue with business as usual? Why do we feel so compelled to continue with this? This isn't synonymous with life. So in nature, you do have hierarchies. You sometimes have, in some cases, some of the alphas in certain packs, they get more of the rest. But no one has hundreds and thousands of times more than everyone else. Do we honestly still believe that fundamental changes, the fundamental changes that we need, are going to come from within the current system of power? Do we honestly still believe that? Are we being lied to, and are we lying to ourselves? So stories about protagonists who have been misguided their whole lives about something that is very important to them have been emerging in our culture for generations. Who has watched The Truman Show? So Jim Carrey's whole world was the set of a TV show, and everyone in his life had been lying to him since his infancy. The theme repeats and resonates with people because that's exactly what's happening. From our earliest moments, we are trained to fit in with a society that has been built from the ground up by the powerful, for the powerful. Do we believe that this is the only way it could be? Do we honestly believe that that's the only way it could be? If our media and education systems were telling us the truth about our world, and our democratic systems actually worked, then wouldn't we have a world where the system was serving the many and not the few? So this is 2018. This is even before the COVID pandemic, which has shifted wealth significantly. 26 billionaires had as much as 50% of the population, the global population. That's the trend. So you can see in 2009, it was 380 people had 50%. So this is the trend that we're seeing right now. So let's be clear. The change is not going to come from within the system of power. The people who hold power in order to act on behalf of the larger society, they have to start with maintaining their power, which means they play into the same dynamics that reinforce all the issues. The initiative for change, to withhold and pull back that power, must come from ordinary people. Our civilization is a set of the Truman Show, and we are all Truman. And because we're all Truman, in order to leave the stage, we have to leave together. Not in angry protest and revolution, but in loving and creative defiance, grounded and supported by our connection to Papatuanuku, to Mother Earth. This year marked the first Matariki public holiday celebration in Aotearoa. This is the only Aotearoa holiday based in an Indigenous worldview. It is also the only public holiday that originates and is linked to an event in the natural world. The rising of Matariki is observable. It's a phenomena in our world, and inevitably watching its rising connects us with the natural world. Connecting with the natural world, with the web of life, and with each other is perhaps the most important thing we can do. When we feel connected, we know deep down that there is another way. We feel supported, and this gives us the courage to face the uncomfortable reality that we live in. Courage to express ourselves, courage to express how we really feel about what's happening. Courage to retain our integrity so we don't end up with like this guy. So we don't turn around on each other. When we feel connected, we realize the real question is whether the brighter future is always so distant. What if it has been there all along, for a really long time, and only our blindness has prevented us from seeing it around us and within us, and kept us from developing it? So that's a quote from Vaclav Havel in his essay, Power of the Powerless. Heart and connection are the ground from which Earthbeat was founded. It is through connection that we realize difference and disagreement is a reason for celebration and growth, a reason for reconciliation, rather than a reason for destruction. A 5-day intergenerational gathering of 4,000 people and growing, a meeting in the flesh with a kaupapa that is based on connecting with the earth is intensely powerful. And it presents a unique opportunity. So we're now looking at our role through a new lens. Being post-pandemic, living in a highly polarized and censored society, being on the brink of nuclear war, not to mention climate change and other issues. We're starting to see our role as a node in a network of communities and organizations working towards and supporting and encouraging and investing in parallel systems. Parallel systems are the only meaningful structure that people can create if they do not wish to remain appendices of the political and social structures created by the ruling power. Earthbeat as a gathering helps us build a field of support and cooperation, a feeling of whānau, guided by wairua, and motivated and inspired by the aroha, the love we have for each other and our place. Oh, I got a lot more slides here. Where did these come from? Am I supposed to say more? Or? Thank you.